Alright, so been a while, like 5 years, I don't know. Point being that Ahsoka, I have been watching it. It's not good, at least in my opinion. You can have different ones. It's okay. Um, Point being that I have been recording my thoughts in a bit of a file. I have, as you can see, 55 pages of notes. And I decided, since my notes aren't done on episodes 4 or 5, it might be a little bit faster to get a video out if I just did a live reaction to episode 6. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the episode, and when I see something that I want to talk about, I'm gonna pause the video. I'll write down the timestamp so I can, like, maybe if I get a point being, I'll write the timestamp down. And then I will explain, like, what's up, what's going down. Um, More to the point, I have way too much knowledge about the past 5 episodes, so I'm going to be trying to I know the connections that are going to be made here, um, and so I'm kind of just, I don't know how to put it. This show has offended me violently, by being as bad as it is. Like, it is twice now accidentally created good writing and then cucked itself to go back on that good writing and make itself abjectly worse. So, um, I, I'm kind of, I just want to get something out there because at this point I'm not having it. So I'm gonna be live reacting. My phone says 0:00, and we're gonna start it now. That's a bit loud.
We have former Imperials working throughout every level of the New Republic government.
Yes, but I
Yeah.
believe their activities are
Okay.
larger.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Hera. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I really do. I'm gonna be watching the full intro just to, like, help myself keep track of time here. But needless to say, I'm gonna be trying to put out a much more extensive video than this. At some point. I don't have the time right now. I have 2 tests in the next 2 days. One of which is like maybe a third to a quarter to a half of my grade. I can't put the time and effort in to get this out now and in fast and, like, get it gain traction or anything. So I'm just, yeah. There'll be something more coming. I swear there will. Um, but golly,
Promise. May the force be with you.
all right. Lucasfilm logo. Distant Purgle calls. I have subtitles on, just so we're clear. Alrighty. So, let's see here. Alright, hyperspace. It looks weird. It's a bunch of freaking. Why it does not look like this? Is this different for the whales? The whales have, like, a different perception of hyperspace, because this isn't how it normally looks, and now it looks kind of coked out. It's kind of weird. Why? Okay. Is it just because it's, like, between galaxies, or are they going, like, extra fast and so it looks weirder? Intergalactic travel. Okay, that you have.
I remember them from the stories you would tell us.
No one told you stories about the Purgles. No.
History of the Galaxy Parts 1, 2.
What? No. Okay.
Best, of course.
I still have those stories in my archive memory. Would you like to hear one?
Okay.
Not right now.
Thank you.
You have a story for me.
Maybe you should have, if you guys needed to, like, bring up storytelling, you should have brought this up, like, at any time previous. You have
You tell Hera that's
9 years of history together.
Impossible.
She went to the enemy willingly. Yeah.
I saw it through the force when I held them up.
Yep. You saw it through the Force. You stole Quinlan Voss's thing. Very cool.
Troubling.
That is troubling.
She could have ended this.
She could have. Okay. I'm gonna pause it here. 303. First big ol' spicy old problem. So, just to clarify, I'm probably one of the only people on the internet who thinks that Sabine has had an arc. Past tense. So it's gonna be a bit to explain, but episode 1, she was unhealthily coping with the loss of Ezra 9 years ago. I don't know why she hasn't, like, at least, is still attached to him. Like I said, unhealthily coping. Not talking to anyone about it, that sort of deal. In the interim, she's clearly, like, become, how to put it, not really connected to anyone. So, I don't. It's hard to explain an arc when it, like, goes about executing the arc so just like a shambling zombie. Okay, so, like, Sabine then steals the map and, like, freaking, it's a stupid decision to take the map, but, like, she's unhealthily coping and is like, oh man, a chance to get Ezra, and so she, makes a dumb decision, like a horrible decision, with abjectly, like, straight up lies to Ahsoka to get this decision made. And then the map gets taken by the baddies. Oh no. Point being that Hu Yang talks to her in the hospital, and she essentially learns to not project her own problems onto others and think that they caused them. And that, after Hu Yang, by the way, just to be clear, is like the characterization droid. He says a line, and then people change their whole character dynamic. He does it with Sabine, Hera, and Ahsoka. But she changes and becomes more open-minded, willing to work with Ahsoka, becomes her apprentice, and then throughout episode 3 they start to bond. Again, Ahsoka ends up being a pretty bad teacher for Sabine, but then Hu Yang, like, basically says, dude, if you don't work with Sabine, we are all going to die. There are fighters after us. And so in the ball turret, Ahsoka is finally like, all right, Sabine, what do you need? And so then they, grow from that. And they shambled into an arc. And in episode 4, it starts with Sabine, like, being confronted with the idea, the realization that they might have to destroy the map. And she compartmentalizes it, right? Because she's not willing to take the idea that she can't get Ezra. And the actor actually does a pretty good job. I think Natasha's her name, something like that. It does a good job, like, conveying her trying to visually, like, compartmentalize this and shove it down and be like, well, it won't even come up. What's the big... And Ahsoka's like, no. If it comes up, can I trust you to make the right decision? And Sabine stands back up, spine up, and says, yes, you can. And then they have another conversation in the ship when they're getting ready to go. And Sabine once again is like, yeah, if it comes right down to it, I'll back you. Like, I will destroy the map. And then she just doesn't. And then Ahsoka finds out that she doesn't. And so Ahsoka just, like, covers for Sabine here, and, like, just doesn't have any crisis of confidence in Sabine. Like, Sabine has been a very important part of the story and has been a great point of us growing Ahsoka as a person, like, growing and showing that she is having trouble training the next generation of Jedi, and Sabine is really her only student that she's able to actually latch on to. I don't know if she has any other, but if she does, they're not there now. So, like, to just, like, try and cover for Sabine is the only reason you didn't say anything. You didn't say anything to Hu Yang up till this point. And like, it's just, the only commentary you have to say is, well, that's kind of disturbing that she would give the map to Balin. You saw her compartmentalize this, right? Like, you know that this is a real struggle that she has. And she was going to back you. I don't know, low-key, I don't know why she didn't. But, like, come on. Do you have anything more to say than that? golly. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and press play again.
Thrawn. No war.
No Thrawn, no war,
Ezra.
and no Ezra. Okay, so she's still not really emoting any
To make that
that much.
choice.
She was fated to make that. Okay, now we're gonna pause again. All right.
I wasn't.
No, it paused. All right, 3:22. So, holy frick! What? Excuse, Sabine was fated to make that choice. Morgan has been the only person up till this point who has, like, you know, made any indication of fate and predestination and that sort of shtick. To the point that Balin has told Shin, like, oh, it's not witchcraft. It's basically a really good guess that Sabine will be on Lothal, and that's really where you should be heading. Bad guess, like, it really shouldn't work, but it does. And Morgan is, like, arrogantly self-confident to the point that she's like, the threads of fate, of destiny itself, have backed me in my endeavor. And, like, now Ahsoka is also preaching this? Excuse me? When did she, like, believe in predestination in any way, shape, or form? If you knew that this was going to be her destiny and her fate, why didn't you, like, not allow this to happen? Why didn't you just destroy the map beforehand? Or, like, anything at all? I don't know. Like, episode 4, you grabbed the map. Clearly you were trying to, like, I don't know, retrieve it so that it could be used. But if you knew, like, through knowing that Sabine was predestined to make this decision, wouldn't you have destroyed the map there and then? There wasn't enough time to... Okay.
Enough time to prepare her to make the right one.
Okay, back to the... Okay, 3... Wasn't enough time to prepare her to make the right one. That's not what was conveyed. She stood on the ramp, back straight, and said, "You can trust me." And quite frankly, it became out of character for her to do the actions that Sabine to do the actions that she did. And so now you're just, like, blaming yourself for that? Okay. And here's the other thing, right? Several of the indications of, like, what Ahsoka's arc may have been, some of them involved, like, self-doubt. She was more confident in her ability to teach before episode 5, and now she's having self-doubt. Arguably for the first time. Like, there was just not enough time to prepare. I should have seen this coming. So clearly self-doubt was not the lesson, like, accepting your own self-doubt was not the lesson that she learned in the World Between Worlds or Concussion, whichever one it was.
The Force provides you with insight. It does not give one all the answers.
Oh, thank you, Hugh Yang. Thank you. The Force doesn't just, like, write down...
For Sabine,
For...
the only choice.
Okay, no, back to this. 3:38. Perhaps for Sabine, it was the only choice. No, it wasn't. And you saw it because you were standing there when she stood on the ramp and said, "You can trust me." That's just objectively false. You were there. And not you, like... They're just like... And this just screams like the writer speaking through Hugh Yang to Ahsoka. It's like, and trying to, like, justify Sabine's actions when there just isn't a justification. To the point that her character arc that was there, I swear it was, is just demolished by this decision. And now Hugh Yang's backing it? Like, I'm sorry. In last episode 5, he was, like, holding Sabine's helmet and being like, they shouldn't have run off alone. I told them to stick together. They should have listened. Boo-hoo, they should have listened. Well, now he's backing Sabine, and part of this whole shebang is Sabine running off on her own and not sticking with Ahsoka. Which, again, dumb decision. But, like, why are you backing her? Okay. I'm never going to get through this episode if I don't hit play. Yeah, I agree, Ahsoka. Sigh is amen there.
For yourself.
A choice she made for herself.
That is your fear.
That is your fear. Okay.
And second thought, tell me one of those stories.
Oh, now she's going to tell you one of those
Your
stories.
choice.
Okay, sick.
Very well.
All right.
A long
No. 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 Okay. 408. No. You do not get to use in a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away in the freaking universe. That's no. You don't get to do that. No, just no. Just straight up no. That's incredibly dumb. That's like if one of them started reading the opening crawl to you. Like that's no one in the history of Star Wars has ever done this. Okay? No one has ever said a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away in the freaking universe. And to like pull that just shatters any immersion that I would have had to this point. Oh, and they just cut off that. Thank you. This is the third intro, by the way, because now the logo's back up. Again, they just waste time. They burn time. Golly! It acts like it's the fourth quarter. They're up by 4, and there's 4 minutes left, and they have the ball. Golly, dude. All right. So we get Sabine, freaking I don't know, sleeping on a octagon or a hexagon or something like that, some sort of bed that's not very comfortable. Why would you make a bed that way? That's a real question I have. Who makes a bed like that? Why do they have... Okay, now hang on. No, I'm going to ask this. For... What? The French? We got 408. 454. Okay, so... Think about it for a second, right? This is a utilitarian hyperdrive ring trying to get to another galaxy, right? Yes? Good. There is not going to be a lot of space here. We don't know how long the journey is going to be. Basically, to the point being, you need to maximize your space here, right? You got to have supplies for the journey, fuel for there and back, supplies for there and back, in case, this tends up to being a kind of a bust journey. You don't know what's going on with Thrawn. You know what I'm saying here? You need the power to run all the systems. Apparently you also have defense cannons and stuff on there. Point, all of the surrounding being, why would you invest time, energy, and space in a prison cell? Who are you imprisoning? And why would you take them onto your hyperdrive ring? Why would you plan to be taking prisoners onto your hyperdrive ring? Who does that? Because this isn't accommodations. Because, golly, those accommodations are pretty sucky. Holy frick. This is very clearly a prison. A prison cell. Why would you put that on your ship? On your intergalactic hyperspace ring? It's a useless space unless you happen to be bringing Sabine along and she needed to be held in a cell somewhere. Oh, wait. That's right. This is literally just put in here so that the writers can have Sabine in a prison cell. So we can probably have a prison escape. I'm calling it now. I almost guarantee you that she's going to escape and then get recaptured. Oh, nope. Excuse me.
I was hoping for a room with a view.
Oh, thank you, Sabine.
You find your situation confining?
A bit.
I would think this would be an opportunity for reflection.
I try to avoid that.
I can understand why.
5, 17. You avoid reflection. That's not accurate, considering how much time you spend alone and how much time you spent thinking. I mean, you were kneeling in front of an anvil, cutting your hair type deal, right? That's not something you do unless you're being self-reflective. Especially since apparently that paralleled when Kanan did that in Rebels right before he died. So unless you're just deliberately mimicking it so that the writers can just say, ha, she did the same thing right before she died, ha ha ha. Unless that's what's going down, you are very clearly a very reflective person. You spend a lot of time alone. So unless you're just straight lying to Balin for no reason, just being snarky for no reason, you're just not being accurate. And Balin agrees with her. Is he just calling her stupid because she just gave him the map? I don't know. They've laid out 16 different contradictory character like ideas for all of these people and are just letting them flow.
We had a deal. You promised me I would see Ezra again. Hey!
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. That's funny. All right, hang on. 529. You. Oh my gosh. Everyone backing Balin, he's my favorite character. Because you know why? He keeps his word. He keeps his word. And that makes him an interesting character. Because all the bad guys, they wouldn't. And look here. She's in a prison cell. And he's like, yeah, well, let's see Ezra again. The implication here is that he's breaking his promise. That's the shot, the angle, like what they're doing here, the sneaky little chuckle. That's what they're conveying here, is that he's broken his promise. Except it doesn't fit with what we've seen of him. And if he was gonna break his promise, why would you not just kill her there and then, rather than letting her come along and just like leaving her in the prison cell for no reason? So either this is a lie and she is going to get her promise kept, or like held or upheld or whatever, and they've just like conveyed it trying to like, ooh, tricksy, huh? Or it's dumb. It's one of the two.
Hey! We had a deal!
And she's banging on the cell. We had a deal. Uneasy music playing. You guys should watch with the subtitles. It's really funny when the music starts playing, and they have just like the funniest subtitles for it.
The prisoner.
He's impatient.
You still mean to follow through on your promise to her?
Her focus to find Ezra Bridger blinds her. I believe she can still be of some use to us.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Alright. 603. 603. Half of this has been the intro, just so we're clear. Like, half of this has just been the freaking introduction to the I should probably be writing what these are. Like, no, I'll do it for the next one. So he is now playing both. Okay, so he believes she can be of some use to us because her like seeking Ezra Bridger's blinding her. What use? You are going to Thrawn, to a destination none of you on the ship have ever been to meet with Thrawn, who is sympathetic to you, not Sabine, and maybe Ezra might be there, but last we saw he was on a Star Destroyer still fully crewed with thousands of Imperials being dropped off into the vacuum of space with an open Star Destroyer window. So what use, may I ask, are you holding her for? Or mayhaps this may be the writers keeping her on hand to use her for later. Being of use. Alright. Tracking complete. We've arrived at our destination. Alright, let's see what this looks like. Alright, so they're exiting hyperspace. Shloomf. That's a neat effect that they had coming out of hyperspace. That's cool. I'm gonna just real quick pause for my own sake. Alright, does not look like there's any damage on the ship. I'm just gonna write that down. No damage on ship from intergalactic hyperspace travel on radical experimental and wholly untested hyperspace ring. Sick. I'm just putting that in there because it's really interesting. There is apparently, at least visually, zero negative effect, and there are no systems that have failed when this has been entirely untested because we watched it be under construction when Sabine, Huyang, and Ahsoka arrived in episode 3. When it was scanned, it was under construction, and then that was the case when they landed on Cetos? I don't remember. So within that time span, it has been built and completed. Stretch. That's a stretch, but we can let it go, right? But we can't let go that they've tested it. So this is a wholly untested design. Never been done before. They have not tested it very clearly. So the fact this has gone off without a hitch is interesting. Let's just put it that way. It's unlikely. But maybe I'm being facetious, nitpicking. Maybe I paused too early. Maybe there is an issue. I don't know. I'm just saying, keep in mind that this is a very intricate machine that they've constructed that is going through a very difficult trial that no other machine, to my knowledge, has ever gone through in Star Wars on wholly untested principles and with no safety testing being undertaken. What was it, like a 5% error chance on the Challenger when it blew up? Is more the point I'm getting at. Alright, so, planet with rings. Big ol' Peridia. What? Okay, no, we're pausing this. 6:40. What? The Night Sisters are from a different galaxy? Are you insane? That's so stupid. What? So the space whales on pure chance happened to just... Okay, let's break this down just for a second here, right? So, on pure chance, the hyperspace whales happen to be dropping fudgin' Ezra and Thrawn out into the same system. I presume this is where they are, right? That's what I'm assuming. Drop them off into the homeworld of the ancient Dathomiri. The Dathomiri are from another galaxy. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, how did they get over here? Why did they get over here? What's the point of having them be from another galaxy? Why did they have, like, infrastructure to get to and from the other galaxy, evidently? But also we've never seen it. But also it's never come up. But also, apparently the only way that people knew about them traveling in between galaxies was through whales and their migratory patterns. Why is it that the migratory patterns of the whales happen to coincide with the homeworld of the Dathomiri frickin' witches, Night Sisters, and the rest of the frickin' the migratory path ends in the homeworld of the Night Sisters, who happen to also just like hitch a ride back to our galaxy, I guess. It just doesn't make sense, and there's no reason to do it, and I just don't understand why. Just why? It doesn't add anything to make this the thing. Like, it doesn't... So I guess this was the ancient civilization that they were talking about in episode 2 was just hers. Why were you being vague then, I guess? It's just... I don't freaking... Just... Golly. Alright. We're gonna hit play again. The end of the migration used by the Star Whales as they traverse the void from one galaxy to another. Like I said, the migratory path of the Star Whales. To harness and ride the creatures. Before time was... Okay. Whales came here to die? It's a great... Oh. What? Okay. We're going to pause just for a second. This one's... Actually, no. This is half minor, half major. The minor part is, what the fudge, the most migratory paths don't have a place to die. The major problem is, if this is where the whales come to die, then how do they hitch a ride back on the dead whales, the dying whales, into our galaxy, the Star Wars galaxy? Are they accompanied by living whales, like young whales for some reason? Is this actually a breeding ground for them and he just called it a graveyard for no freaking reason? I don't know. And they haven't explained it yet. Chances are they won't. Actually, okay, hang on. Frick, okay. I'm gonna put, frick. Your home world and graveyard, and then 7-Eleven. Friggin' did paused for the list. Sicko mode. All right, let's continue. Oh, the rings are whale bones. Okay, that's just an odd choice of design. Why are the beacons signal from the planet's surface? Excellent. Oh golly, what on earth is this? All right, no, hang on. All right, I'm gonna pause for a second time. 7:38. There are two options for how we go forward. Just to point out that there is a signal coming from below. The signal is one of two things. One, it's the Chimera and Thrawn's gaggle. Two, it's a living civilization of Night Sisters. One, there's nothing really else on the world because the Night Sisters died out / moved to our galaxy. If they're still around, they're probably not like actively fighting the Chimera crew or something, because they would have won by now. Considering we're talking like a planet's worth of civilizations of Night Sisters who are magic wielders, versus 10,000 stormtroopers and deck officers and engineers and stuff like that. So we can count that as not an option. Point being, Chimera crew is probably safe and in a sustainable place because it's 9 years hence. Two, other option, the Night Sisters are all alive, and this beacon is just like a full civilization of Night Sisters, and so that's who they're going to go and meet and talk with. In either case, you don't need Sabine, so if you're not going to keep your promise to her, you kill her. I'm sorry. I like the character, or what it was, but if you're a villain in this situation, you cut the tie that does you nothing and like is only a risk factor for you. You gotta manage your risks. It's about safety management. Okay, looks like they have an executioner squad sitting in here. Maybe. Except they're not executing her. They're dragging her somewhere, I presume the bridge. Okay, they're flying off onto the planet. It's all three of the villains. Nope, and Sabine's there too. Okay, gotcha. Interesting decision to have all three of your main conspirators, I guess, go down there with you. Like, in case something goes south, you might want to have Shin or Balin be backup on the ring of death and destruction. But honestly, I don't know. It's up to you, I guess. We're kind of cooking some time here. Oh, sick. A big old statue. And now there's not a whole lot else. We're still not seeing a whole lot else. It's still raining. That's cool. Alright, now we're seeing something. It's Rio de Janeiro, but not. I kinda am okay with the vibes of the planet. I don't know that the CGI was actually that great, but like I can give it a pass. I like the prequels, so. And it looks like they're heading towards a spire castle thing? I don't know. Point being that while we've got the vibes of the world, we could have had these vibes shorter, and so we're spending a lot of time cooking vibes. You know what I'm saying? This is interesting that they had this in place. Either this castle's abandoned or occupied by Thrawn. Either way, it's either in really good shape to be abandoned, Oh. It's not abandoned. Okay. Great. It's neither. So it is the living civilization of witches, is the vibe they're going for. Okay, gotcha. Interesting. Alrighty. I'd like to see some... Okay, I'm going to pause here. 10 minutes exactly, sicko mode. I'm going to share something with you. It's more of a personal thing. I love world building. I really do. What you should really be seeing here is a cultural disconnect. Morgan has, I presume and I hope to God, never met these Night Sisters before in their lives. And while they may have been like contacting each other back and forth through fate, destiny, force, through the threads of fate, whatever the frick, they're culturally probably very different from one another. So maybe a different language, maybe a different like sense of customs. You should see a massive cultural disconnect, because if they're an ancient civilization, not really in contact for the last thousands of years, but they are clearly still an active civilization and have been developing separately from the Night Sisters of Dathomir, we should see a strong disconnect of culture here. Now, if they're going for an interconnected culture where they're like, you know, the Night Sisters on Dathomir are also the Night Sisters here, like they're constantly in contact with each other, or like they're a I don't know how to really phrase it. I'm not gonna say hive mind, but like a lot of interconnected thinking and like thought processes. They contact each other regularly. They are like in a large overarching organization, and while Mother Talzin may be the leader of either a sect or the whole shebang, they still have their own leader over on this planet. But the point is, there's still like an overarching organization, and if that's the case, then the loss of the Night Sisters on Dathomir should be a very big deal to these guys, and we should see an effect of that here, because this is the first time we're seeing the separate sect of Night Sisters. So that's a lot. I don't know if that was very structured, but I'm just trying to share what I would do here as a world builder, right? I want to convey that these are either like very different cultures, and that we should expect a different blend of, like a different flavor of Night Sister than we're used to, or if they're the same, then we should see a lot of the effects that have happened to the Night Sisters in our galaxy, Star Wars galaxy. We should be seeing that, and its ripple effect here. Should be seeing like a, just a ripple effect. All right. Night Sister wishes. All right, sick. Now let's move on. Let's see what they do. All right, she bows. They don't. All right, child of Dathomir. All right.
You do our
Ancestors credits. Cool.
Thank you, Great Mother.
Great Mother.
You heard our call to you in the dream.
Your visions guided me across the stars.
We're witches.
Oh wow! What'd you freaking Shin? Thank you. Thank you, Shin. Thank you, Shin. More witches. We couldn't tell.
Where is Thrawn?
You shall wait.
He is coming. He has agency to move? I thought he crashed. Okay, no, we're gonna pause here. It reeks of Jedi? You have an allergic reaction to Jedi or something? Reeks of Jedi. So, like, one, what's your big old problem here? Two, no, she doesn't. She's barely, like, she can't use the freaking Force. She just happened to have a lightsaber and take a few classes on the side. Balin should be stinking of Jedi, because he was in the freaking Order. Shin is his apprentice. Why is Sabine the one who stinks of Jedi? What's your problem here? Okay. And Great Mother? Who was that? Is she above Talzin? Is she below? Is she in the middle? She's dangerous? In what way? No, she's not. She's unarmed, in handcuffs, can't use the Force. How is she dangerous? Why are you shooting 3 balls her direction? What is this? Why are you, like, further imprisoning her? She's in handcuffs!
It will wait in solitude.
It will wait in solitude. Okay, but
Hey, we had a deal. Where is Ezra? Where is he?
okay. All right. All right. So, okay. Balin like looks reluctantly, just so we're clear. What? Okay, so there's a lot of different things that can be at play here. We've got Balin, who is has a weird workplace relationship with Morgan. We don't know if he's like secretly still super duper Jedi and like is playing off being super hardcore and oh yeah, such a tough guy. I hate the Jedi and stuff. But actually, still has feelings for people and stuff like that, and is just like trying to play tough for Morgan. If that's the case, then that's clearly what was going on here because he's in the present trying to get his paycheck, so he's not going to back Sabine here, but he will look like reflective of the fact that he has been forced to break his deal, even though he wasn't really planning to do so. If that's not what's going on, then we have a different situation where he is just like we don't need to see him like looking reflective, I guess. It doesn't. It just muddles the plot. If that's what's going down, I guess we'll see where his character ends up. But they're not really doing a great job of conveying what his actual position on things is. And we're in episode 6 of a 8-episode season, and the actor is dead. So if you don't sort this out soon, we're a little bit cooked now, aren't we? But also, why is there just like a staircase to a prison at the top of this tower that has a landing pad to a henge? And you can just like take Sabine down there with no guards, but I mean, I guess the like lasso of truth looking thing is cool and like also just takes care of that, I guess. Golly. But you don't appear to really have any security here. We're also very light on people in this situation, in this civilization. I just want to point out that we've established the vibe of the planet. The vibe of the planet is the planet is largely uninhabited and filled with ruins of a eons dead civilization. That's the vibe that I got out of that. Fog going everywhere, no signs of life, a bunch of old decaying rock-based statues, I suppose. And all that just screams long dead civilization. But apparently they're alive. So where are they and what happened? We need to know these too. Alright. Prisoner. Alright. Let's move on, shall we? Oh, now you're just taking the lasso of truth off her. So you're just like letting her sit here. And is the door closing? Yes, maybe. But there's a window that's pretty wide. Oh, look, wolves. That's cool. Okay. What the fudge? So they're just like leaving her in the tower for no reason, and and Morgan's going back up. And Morgan or both the witches, like all the witches, are going back up. Shin and Balin are still here on their own. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand what is going. Why are they here? Why did they get left behind? Why aren't they with her? What is happening here? Shin clearly is like racist against witches. So like, why would you leave her and Balin just here?
This is a land of dreams and madness.
Land of dreams and madness. That's cool.
Stories come to life.
Oh my gosh.
I know no such stories.
Oh, so this is the storytelling episode. Yeah, she wasn't raised in the temple. We got
Galaxy
this.
are considered folk tales. It's an ancient past, long forgotten.
Awesome. Yeah, so Eon's Dead Civilization is the vibe they're going for here then.
Good reason. Sometimes stories are just stories.
Sometimes stories are just stories. That's wonderful, darling. This is a very pregnant pause here. Awesome.
I watched everything I knew burn.
Oh, that's freaking one. No. Okay. 1325. 1325. She's viscerally interested in this story. Like, she is into this. She's looking at him like head tilt. I've never heard this story before. Are you telling me that in this time he has yet to tell her about Order 66? Are you serious? Like, up till now, it has not been a thing that he has told her? Because if he's told the story before, Shin is being very poorly conveyed here of being interested in this. Because he's told this 1,000 times. And she's very, like, dark-sidey, impatient. She's not going to tolerate being told the same story twice. That's the vibe I get from her. And so, to convey this out of this means that she has not heard this story before, and she's into this. So the fact that you haven't told her before, odd. The fact that this is what brings you to tell her the story is also odd. We're trying to pull a lot out of the characters here, right? Because we, quite frankly, still have nothing on Shin. Nothing. It's 13 minutes into episode 6, and we have nothing on her. And Balin doesn't really have that much either. Like, we're still in the, I'm gonna bring in a war, but it's gonna be for the greater good. That's basically all we have on him. And also, he may or may not be keeping promises, and may or may not still self-identify as a Jedi. We don't know. It's just not clear. Anything. So we had to pull a lot out of these scenes to just get anything out of them. And so what this conveys is an estranged relationship where they just don't talk to one another. He's never told her this. This is a fundamental core characteristic of any Jedi who survived Order 66. Is the fact that they survived Order 66. That's like probably their biggest moment in their life is Order 66. The Earth, like, where were you on 9/11? Where were you at Pearl Harbor? Where were you when Order 66 went down, former Jedi? And he's never, to this point, told her this? That's insane. Also, Order 66 retelling number 67 at this point.
The Jedi Temple?
Couldn't make sense of it at the time. As you get older, look at history. You realize it's all inevitable.
Oh, cool. Okay, so we're going with a theme of inevitability and fate.
Rise of the Empire.
Fall of Jedi, Rise of the Empire. It was not inevitable.
Once again.
It repeats. I, as a historian, am insulted by this. History is not a repeating loop.
Isn't it our turn now?
Isn't it our turn now? No. Okay.
Our alliance with Thrawn finally
Okay, we're getting something.
into power.
Okay, no. Alright, back to 1414. I love this. Balin was baited, strung us along. Maybe he'll be something more than episode 2. What will this do for us? What are we getting out of this? Power, unbelievable power. And now here we stand. Episode 6. And Shin. If I haven't seen what Balin responds to this with, but if Balin responds with the affirmative, then we have reverted all the way back to episode 2, and they're just doing this for power. That is such a 1D villain motivation. That's disgustingly bland. Just awful. Awful. I don't know how he responds, but I pause it first just to get that out of the way. And once again, history is not a repeating loop on itself. It's not how it works. Different events just cause different things, like the degradation of the Jedi Order and their insulation against the problems of the galaxy led to for the problems of the galaxy to fester, so that they would eventually boil over and make a group of separatists think that it would be better for them if they left the Republic than to still be a part of the system that was brutalizing them. And the Jedi and everyone else in the Republic was like, heck no, we're not letting that happen. And they, and the movement got taken over by, corporations, Sith Lords. I'm not going to say the CIS was justified, because, it's not conveyed that way at all. But, that's what happened, right? It was Palpatine's manipulations that really pushed things off the edge. But there were systems in play and factors in play, and to just boil it all down to it's all a loop. It was just the Galactic Republic's time to fall, to make the Empire rise, to make the New Republic fall, to make the First Order rise, to make the First Order fall, for the Final Order to rise, so the Final Order could fall, so that we could have anarchism, is ridiculous. Because the Galactic Republic didn't come from an empire. It was the Galactic Republic for at least 1,000 years of peace and stability. So to imply this has all been a bunch of loops on each other is asinine.
That sort of power is fleeting.
Okay, that sort of power is fleeting.
What I seek
Is the beginning. Okay, cool. The beginning of what?
bring a cycle.
Cycle to an end.
And that beginning is here.
Okay. Alright.
If the old stories are true,
Alright. 1443. So, thank goodness that he rejected the 1D motivation and we're back to 2D. There's a new beginning here, and we don't know what it is or what it entails. And I just want to point out, we're still episode 6 and we don't know these two motivations at all. And it's not like they're like, leaving breadcrumbs for us. We'll see what it is eventually. And then all of this will just make sense. And they're like really stringing us along, and we know what their motivation might be, but we just really can't put it all together until they showed it, and we're like, oh, it was all so obvious. Oh, of course. There's nothing here. There's a new beginning for what? For whom? What is this new beginning entail? Why is this the best route to go about it? What is your end goal of this new beginning? Because you're just trying to break a cycle that doesn't exist. And to this point, may I add, the First and Final Order haven't been a thing yet. We're still in the Galactic Republic, Empire, New Republic phase. This isn't indicative of a loop. This is just replacing a tyrannical regime with an incompetent one that was written incompetently because they didn't they couldn't write a better one. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hit play. So, just to be clear, our roster here in this tower is genuinely just Balin, Sabine, and Shin, the Night Sisters of Algon. I don't know why. Alright. Sabine's calling out to Ahsoka, I don't know if through the Force. Probably not, because she's not that Force sensitive to the Force. So now she's just like pacing around her cell and just kind of sighing. I don't know. Alright. Okay, what's your plan here? What you gonna do? Alright. You're gonna use... Okay. Alright. Okay. I'm about to have a big problem if this works. Alright, guys? I hear dirt falling. Oh boy. Okay, good. Ominous music playing. Okay, then what was the ship flying off for if they're just still here? What the fudge? They baited? Okay. Oh, and now the ISD that was just busted earlier is still flying? It's had a bunch of like makeshift shoddy repairs, but it's still flying? Excuse me? Why did they take the time to repaint the bottom of the Star Destroyer? What purpose does that serve? And to Balin's point, how is Sabine helping here? Why didn't you just kill her? She's gonna be helpful later. How? And what kind of goofy, stupid, like, maneuver is this? Just send a shuttle to pick them up. Don't, like, land your Star Destroyer onto a big old rocky spike. Like, gosh dang, dude. Why? What is this? Why are they still in, like, super duper militarism? What is this? Why is there an Aurelian mask on that dude? Why are they still military? Like, they should be super shoddily. Like, they. Okay. I'm pausing here. 17. I want to give one piece of credit. Their armor. Well done. Their armor is shoddy. It's broken apart. It's very clear these are all troopers that have been through like a survival situation and have been using the same pair of armor for 9 years. That's clear with their armor condition. I want to give that piece of credit because that is well done. Beyond that, this is not anything close to what should be taking place because their Star Destroyer should be in orbit if it's still working, and if it's not still working, then it should be crashed, and they should be like have a city built around it to protect and shelter them and give themselves basic industry and the means to survive. How did they get food? How did they get water? How did they all survive for this long? On what rations? We don't know. Why is this a display of power that they're doing? I don't know why they land the Star Destroyer on the freaking thing. They have a hyperspace race sitting up there, and they've got a shuttle there. They can just bring themselves in the shuttle to Thrawn and his Star Destroyer. You don't need to land your Star Destroyer on the spike, because if something goes wrong, you're fricked. Guess what? Whoa, you've killed everyone. You survived for 9 years, and you're dead. So there's no reason for this ostentatious display of power, because who are you impressing? You're working together. And everyone knows the state each other is at. We all know how impressive you guys actually are. The Night Sisters have a ring with no defenses on it. You are in a survival situation trying to get back to the galaxy. Why are you doing a military parade formation to try and flex your power to people you're working with who both of you are pretty powerless in this situation? What? This doesn't have anything to do with anything except to make the viewers go, wee! Stormtroopers in formation. I liked when that happened. I like the triumph of the wills. Because that's what this looks like. I don't... Oh, they're night troopers? Huh? And why did that dude modify his armor to like give himself an Aurelian mask? That's goofy.
Great mothers, I salute you. Soon we shall all escape this exile thanks to the efforts of Morgan Elsbeth.
I am ever your servant, Grand Admiral.
Yes. So, what is Morgan's motivation here?
My God, we shall begin the cargo transfer.
The cargo transfer?
I have seen the catacombs. It will take some time. At least 3 rotations.
An acceptable time frame.
Okay. And then, where are we at? 1826. Okay. So, she's seen these catacombs. We haven't. We don't know what's going on here. This is now, to us, the viewer, an arbitrary timeline of 3 rotations, which is apparently just not a standard unit of measurement. It's just dependent on the star systems, and we don't know how long days are on Cetos. We don't know how long days are here. So this is just arbitrary. But let's just, benefit of the doubt, 24-hour day. Okay. What cargo transfer? Why do you need to transfer cargo? Transfer cargo to what? I assume the hyperspace ring, but where is it storing it all? Like all of this. Why do you have a prison cell taking up space when you can be using that space for cargo storage? I don't know. And if the ISD is still operational and flying, then and all your supplies are in catacombs, I don't know. Maybe you should put your supplies in the Star Destroyer and fly the Star Destroyer up to the Eye of Sion, so that you can just load it in space and make this a lot faster. I don't know. What arrangement does he have with the Night Sisters? This we don't know. What does it entail? Basically that. What does it entail? Like what's being given up? What's the exchange here? I'm sure that we're gonna find out, because there's no way they'll just like let that slide. But so far, a lot of the stuff I've brought up, they have let slide. They have brought a prisoner, Sabine, obviously.
You never spoke of this.
We did not see it.
It is a loose thread. We didn't see this.
Speak to me of this loose thread. I brought the prisoner. I felt she could be of some use to us. And you are?
Mercenaries. Alien Skull. And his apprentice, Shinhati.
Okay. Then you must be General Balin Skull. Of the Jedi Order.
Oh, okay. No. No. Okay. Actually, no. Okay. Combs. 18. What is this? 1905. Great year. I think Teddy wrote. No, Teddy wasn't in charge. Okay. So the fact that the Night Sister girls like are raising their heads and like doing a little what the frick motion with their heads indicates that they smelled the Jedi-ness on Sabine, but didn't even conceive, or anything that Shin and Balin were whatever Jedi. And this is a surprise to them. Excuse me, this is late at night. I'm sorry. I've had a long day. What? Just you can like smell it on her, but not on them. And like also, he's now said that he has parted ways with the Jedi, so he doesn't self-identify as a Jedi. So he shouldn't really be abiding by their principles that much. I don't know, unless he just like adopted their code as his moral code. We'll see.
But you would not be the first.
Would not be the first.
The prisoner is Sabine Wren.
Now there's a familiar name.
Uh-huh.
You're quite right. She'd be of great use to us.
Of great use to us? How? Unless you mean like on the journey back, when you're going to use a politically irrelevant loner Mandalorian as bargaining chip to a New Republic who doesn't like heroines, or to throw her in prison, and that's the only person it holds sway with. Sabine doesn't hold any like it. She's of no use to you.
To see a familiar face. I understand it is you I have to thank for my escape from exile.
Where's Ezra?
Yes.
All right. Yep. Where's Ezra?
The desire to be reunited with your Lord.
Just freaking say, okay, no, shut up. Just tell us where Ezra is.
Singular focus would reshape our galaxy.
Shut.
Just answer the question.
Yeah, thank you, Sabine.
No need for hostility. I'm aware of your agreement with Balin Skull, and I intend to honor it. You shall have provisions, amounts, and our latest intel on Bridges' whereabouts.
So that's it. You're just gonna let me walk out of here?
You help my cause.
Okay.
Now I shall help yours.
Okay.
You should know, though, that once my starship departs, you'll be stranded here forever.
Okay. Quick pause. Just a quick pause. 57. Okay. So, 1, no, she doesn't have any use to you. You're letting her wander off on her own. 2, you're trying to build a rapport with her that's not going to be there because she fought you for, I don't know, 3 years of her life, 2 years of her life, something along those lines. And you theoretically maybe were the cause of death of, maybe death of Ezra. And you are going to end the New Republic, probably, I don't know, maybe. So, I don't know why you're trying to build a rapport with her, because it's never going to happen. And if you're just doing this to, quote, quote, be honorable, I don't get it here, because you don't gain anything from this. And I know this is going to make me sound like a freaking psychopath here. But to be fair to me, this is also Thrawn we're talking about, who is, you know, pretty not sympathetic to people. Until this, I guess. Like, he bombed Lothal's capital city just to make Ezra, or whoever he was trying to talk to, I don't remember, come and help him with his thing. I don't remember what's going on specifically. I haven't watched season 4 Rebels in like a year. And I've only seen it once. But he's not a merciful guy. So this is clearly not an act of clemency and like being nice for the sake of it. He's trying to get something out of this. What is he trying to get out? Her loyalty? You're not going to get that. Are you trying to get her... There's really not much else you can try to be going for with this. Especially considering that the benefits you gain from just having her, or like on hand unwillingly, are about the same you'll get if you get her on board willingly. Because there's at no point is she going to help you in your aims. So I don't know why you're trying to convert her to your side, question mark? I don't get this. I don't Thrawn is on or able. Alright.
It's also quite possible that your friend is dead.
Oh, whoa, no, oh no. That would be such a bummer if her friend is dead.
I'm
And
sure he's doing just fine.
if he also has an Imperial Star Destroyer full of people and all the rations in the world, apparently.
The fate of your galaxy. Belief.
You've gambled the fate of the galaxy on that belief. You wouldn't understand. Shut up, both of you. Holy frick. It's so stupid.
I'd rather not waste any more time. What kind of ride you got around here?
Can you stop being so smug? For just a second, please. Like, holy moly. Can you not be this conceited with yourself? And, like, recognize you are playing with the life of the galaxy here. And you're banking on the belief that your friend is alive, and for just no reason here. And you're still full of yourself in this. And I get you're trying to act tough for Thrawn or something, but like, hot dang, can you at least just show us? Okay, check that. Nomads wander this wasteland and prey on each other for survival. Why would you give her the lightsaber? Just give her the blasters. Die well? So you're just expecting her to die. So what great use is she here for then, if you're just actually willing to risk her dying and think in fact that is a high possibility? That's ridiculous. And did they actually just land? Did they land the Star Destroyer? Is that what's going on? This is... I don't... What is this? And as for the Nomads... Oh, no. This isn't the Star Destroyer. This is on the tower. They've lifted the Star Destroyer off the tower and moved it elsewhere for this scene. So where's the Star Destroyer at? Follow her at her own pace? Okay, yes, Grand Admiral. Sick. Okay, so they are going to protect her. Alright, there's at least that.
But he shall. Sabine Wren will have the opportunity of finding
Oh.
She does.
Okay.
You and your master will destroy them both.
No. 2341. And I've been pausing a couple times just to let myself know that. This is such an overly complicated, ridiculous. I don't have words for this. Let me put it this way: in the 3 rotations, you will be stranded here forever. What does that tell me? Then in 3 rotations, they will be stranded here forever with no right out of here. Right? Yay, nay. I would say, yeah. Goose is cooked if you leave them behind. Guess where Ezra is? That's right. Behind. So when you leave, Ezra's also left behind for good. So you don't need Sabine to hunt down and ferry out and suss out Ezra Bridger for you. That's just unnecessary. Just let him stay here and die in the nomad-filled wilderness. Just want to point out, the wilderness is filled with apparently a bunch of like roaming nomads or something. So, and maybe they're they're definitely hostile to the Imperials, it would seem. Maybe also to the Night Sisters, which is odd. Are they like, I don't know what the world building is here, like at all, not even a little bit. Like, it doesn't make any sense for them to be Night Sisters to be a world-spanning organization, but also have nomads of, I guess, non-Night Sisters, maybe? Or if they are they like mentally broken Night Sisters or something, like the ghouls from Fallout? I don't know what the frick the nomads are. We don't have any idea what they are. It's just insane. And if the overarching plan here is actually we'll let Sabine find Ezra and then kill her. Then why would you hand her the blasters and the lightsaber? Just give her the blasters. Your end goal is to kill them both. Don't arm them more than you need to. It's insane. Alright, hunt down and kill Ezra and Sabine, whatever. Alright. Oh, that's insane. I mean, that's just asinine. And, like, even beyond that, why do they have to hunt them down? Just, like, monitor them from the orbit and just, like, plow them with your Star Destroyer. I don't know. Like, what the frick is this? The only way this makes any sense is if Thrawn is like trying to kill them and Ezra / Sabine. I don't know what's going on. All right. And she's just okay. Just to clarify here, she doesn't have any idea where Thrawn is at or where Ezra's at. Okay. Now okay. She doesn't know where Ezra's at. She's just wandering off in a random direction and I guess going off the scent that the Howler is. No, because the Howler's like smelling something like random. I assume they're nomads. So I don't know what's going on here. How is she trying to track? What? She's got like a controller to like track the old communication system. Okay, what? Okay. Bandit leader speaking alien language. Okay, so this is a third party who we don't know. Okay, cool. This is pretty bad choreography because, like, hot dang, people are just not doing things. Wow, she just got hit straight in the head with a gaffy stick and tanked that. That's strange. Dang, what a bummer. Oh no, you're down your blasters again. Oh, once again, lightsabers. Oh wow, yeah, just kill him, please. Oh, no. How did he just tank the lightsaber? What the fudge? They're all tanking lightsabers. Excuse me? What? Two of them just took a lightsaber and we're fine. Excuse me? And now the thing that she was like using to track Ezra question mark is broken. So great, she's just out in the wilderness and has no idea where she is and where she's going. So that's wonderful. I guess she's gonna use the Force to find Ezra or something. I don't know. She's not reaching out to the Force. She's just walking. She's just walking in a direction. That's wonderful. It's wonderful. We don't see her navigating. We don't know how she's gonna find what. They're using their howlers to. Oh, so they didn't move the Star Destroyer, but they're using the howlers to track her. Why aren't you using any of the like shuttles and stuff that the Empire has on hand? Because you have TIE fighters in that. Yeah, you have TIE fighters in the hangar. What are you doing?
Grand Admiral, the mercenaries have departed.
Good. Prepare to attack squads. Wait for Lord Balin's signal.
Should we not send more troops to support them?
Okay, we're gonna pause here. 26:45. Should we not send more troops to support them? Here's a big old problem. Because at this point, the arguments I've gotten for why Morgan has made these dumb freaking decisions is that she's arrogant and like so fully full of herself that she cannot think rationally and like think of the risk factors. And the only way this still holds up is if somehow her reaching Thrawn is, like, has lost her arrogance? Excuse me. That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. To this point, she's, like, just decided on a random guess that Shin should go to Lothal, which should have been a wrong guess, because Ahsoka wasn't going to go to Lothal until Hera told her to. So that was just a pretty lucky guess there. And she's been very confident in herself and everything that she's done, to the point that when there are like a bunch of fighters and stuff in your path and you're going to make a super duper complicated and very dangerous, very powerful hyperspace jump, you're cool to jump with ships in your way. Which is just insane, but that's the level of conceit she's at, apparently. And so she just can't think of the risk factors. Well, here she is, thinking about the risk factors. Shouldn't you send more? Is her thinking about the risk factors and being concerned about overconfidence. So unless just Thrawn has an AoE of concerning about risk factors, and Morgan just happens to be in the AoE, this is just fully justifies all of the things I was saying earlier. It is just insane. Alright, let's write this one down. 26:45. Morgan concerned with risks. Alright. Let's keep moving on.
During this exile, our numbers have dwindled.
Our numbers have dwindled, so no 2 squads will suffice. Thank you for that, at least. The numbers have dwindled.
Our primary objective is to escape this galaxy.
Thank you, Thrawn. Your primary objective is to escape the galaxy.
Whether Ren and Bridge are killed or stranded here.
Okay, 27:04. Bada bing, bada boom, bum bum. It matters not whether Ren. Okay, self-contradictory here, right? Unless there's a third aspect at play that we just don't know, then okay, their numbers have dwindled. One, why are you making an ostentatious display in the hangar for no reason? But two, yeah, 2 squads, it will be enough. Whatever, yada yada. Yeah, it's been 9 years. That's fair. Okay. Excuse me. She. Give me a second to think this one over. Give me just a second. My mind's going blank here. Okay. Hopefully I'll edit this out. If I don't manage to edit, then frick me. If you're stressed about the value of your troops and you're gonna only send 2 squads, that's fair. If you're stressed about the value of your troops and you're gonna only send 2 squads, that's fair. If you're stressed about the value of your troops and you're gonna only send 2 squads, that's fair. But you have to have a reason to send 2 squads in the first place. And if you're going to say the sentence after that it matters not whether Ren and Bridger are killed or stranded here, which is also correct, you cannot join those two ideas. It is either you want them dead as a doornail, and though 2 squads may not be enough, it's what you have to spare on hand and can possibly use to assist in this. If that's the case, then fine. But don't say that it doesn't matter whether they die here or die in 1,000 years hence, stranded in this galaxy. Because you cannot reconcile those two.
The same can be said for your two.
The same can be said for your 2 mercenaries. Okay, great. Awesome. But why don't you take them back with you is the overarching question, because you haven't given any reason for that.
You abandoned me.
Why are you yelling at your horse? Why are you shelling it off for cowardice? What's the point there? Why have they formed a bond? What is going on? She's yelling at the horse and abusing. Like, I'm sure that the vibe is that she's a nice person, and so the animal is drawn to her because the Imperials have mistreated it. But unfortunately, she's yelling at it. Why does it have this bond? It shouldn't. And now we're burning clock on this. Yeah, I'm just gonna come back from the stream like. Yeah, see, I know. We're burning clock right now. Like, we can't spend time world building. We can't spend time on anything because we're burning clock on whether the horse likes her or not. Quite frankly, it doesn't matter if it does or doesn't. We know what her character is to this point, theoretically.
I'll give you another chance. You better not bail on me this time.
Okay, we're pausing here. 28:32. Reconciles with a space horse. She has not shown to this point like an agitation, a hatred of cowardice. So to bring this up now, 6 episodes in, hang on, this episode is half over. 6 and over a half over into the show, doesn't build her character because this hasn't been developed in any way. She hasn't shown any hatred of cowardice. So to like introduce this as a character arc, like a character element of her, is ridiculous. Like maybe there's, if you're trying to convey the inherent disgust for cowardice all people share, most of the, like, if for the most part, like the inherent, everyone doesn't like it when someone ditches them and like out of just fear. That's okay, cool. But you're still trying to define her character to this point because you had something going, you cut it off in episode 4. So to this point, you're still reestablishing who she is now. And right now, you're establishing a hatred of cowardice that has not been displayed to present, because it hasn't come up. It hasn't had to come up yet. But maybe you should have given an instance where it does come up. Maybe when Hera calls her, like when they're landing in, like getting into the Denab system, maybe have freaking Sabine like say something about how the senators are cowards, which isn't true, by the way, just so we're clear. Hera fricks up that meeting, but maybe have her say something about like how the senators are cowards and that's the problem, and like, you know, something, but nothing. So this is just out of the blue. She hates cowards, and that's the only substantive thing you can draw from this exchange. This has been like, I don't know, half a minute, a minute. We're burning clock. We have a lot to get to. What's in the catacombs? Why wasn't it already on the Star Destroyer? What's up with what's Balin and Shin's goal? Why are we killing Balin and Shin? Maybe, sort of, kind of. What is going on? We don't freaking know. And they're clearly just like trying to betray Balin and Shin for no freaking reason. You can still bring them along to your Empire reunion that you're going to have in the galaxy.
It doesn't hurt you any. You're paying them money and then they'll frick off. And if they have problems with it, they're on a Star Destroyer with hundreds of stormtroopers who have been battle hardened for 9 years. What is the... Okay. And we're... Point being, we have a lot of freaking stuff to get to. And we're burning clock on a horse. And like Sabine likes animals is not only just irrelevant, it's also previously established because he owns a cat.
Well, friend, this is your world.
Well, friend, this is your world. Oh, so now it's just gonna smell Ezra. Is that what's going down? That's unhinged. Excuse me? It just happens to smell Ezra. How did it know that she needed to smell Ezra? Like, what? And it knows what direction to go, and like, what the fudge? Where's Shin and Balin? Are they like watching her? Oh, they cut away. We don't know if they were watching her. So their howlers are still mistreated, theoretically, I assume. So they wouldn't know that this is where Sabine needs to go, is like going. So they just, unless they watched her make this like course change, they don't know where she is unless they're sensing her through the Force or something. I don't know. None of this, just anything.
Am I missing something?
You're missing something? Oh, so they're implying that Ezra's dead here, I assume. It's what they're going for. That or, like, the horse thing was just sniffing for water. Yeah, okay.
Is that it?
Alright. Oh, now it is going for Ezra. Cool.
It's a rock. You're embarrassing yourself.
You're embarrassing yourself? Frick off. You gotta be kidding me. That face is really just ugly. What on earth? What on earth is this?
Okay, yeah, that trick's over.
Oh, now they're playing funny comedy music. Hee hee.
Come on, I can see you there.
Is the Howler gonna eat the thing? Is that what's going down? Oh no, it understands Galactic Basic. Oh, what do you know? How lucky? How lucky is that the thing in another galaxy understands Galactic Basic? Yeah, the Howler totally eats these things, by the way, just so we're clear.
Down. Tota. Tota.
And it responds to her commands. This is speaking Nodi language.
No, it won't hurt you.
It understands her, but can't speak Galactic Basic itself. I don't know what's going on. Unless this thing knows where Ezra is, we're also burning clock on something entirely irrelevant.
Just relax over there.
Oh, yep. See, it recognizes the rebel symbol, which means that it knows where Ezra is. Oh my god. Okay, so credit for not sniffing out where Ezra was directly, because that's gooberish and dumb.
How's that
I
possible?
appreciate that at
Ezra,
least.
do you know Ezra?
Okay, I'm gonna pause it here. 32, 29. Okay, so I'm gonna give him this. It didn't sniff out where Ezra was, but sniffed out the guy who knew where Ezra was. On a planet. A whole planet. And they happened to be in the same... They hadn't happened to run off into the right direction to like sniff out the right rock person, to know, to be able to recognize the rebellion's symbol on her shoulder, to be able to point to where Ezra happens to be at this moment in time. Like, that's still a big ol' set of coincidences that happens to be exactly what Sabine needs. What do you know? How freaking lucky. You do realize how easy it is to get lost anywhere, right? Like, when ships in the olden days were sailing across the Atlantic, off by a compass, meant off by a single compass degree, meant off by hundreds of miles. And I get that's a larger distance than she's going to travel. That's fine. But you have 360 of these degree points to go in the direction of. And she happened to hit the right one. And I know that she knew where his last location was. So I shouldn't have said 360 degrees. I apologize. But this is still a massive set of coincidences, even if she knows the right direction to go exactly. She doesn't have a coordinate position to where he last was, as far as I know. And if she did, it was with the device that broke. And then she just started walking off, right? So, I don't understand how it's not a set of coincidences. Like, just ridiculous. And somehow, the little naughty thing trusts her. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. It is seeing its natural predator growling at it, and the only thing keeping it from being eaten or whatever is a person saying, leaning back and being like, "Oh, sit down." Okay, the thing shouldn't understand galactic basics. It shouldn't understand that it's trying to protect her. It should not know what's going on, but it should see its natural predator and be cooked. It should be out. It should be done. I don't know. I don't know why it would be willing to work with Sabine in any way. I don't know why it would know what Ezra was. I don't know any of this stuff. And I guarantee you it won't be explained. And it's not... I just want to also clarify something. I don't need everything to be explained because I'm a little dummy dumb head child, right? That's not the reason I need explaining. The reason I need to explain it is because I shouldn't have to write the story in myself for this to happen. Yeah, you remember what I was doing earlier, right? With the Night Sisters. I was showing you what I would do if I were going to write it. I would show the cultural differences, the cultural clash, how you can make the story deeper. And that clearly did not happen. None of it happened. We never got any depth as to whether if they're still connected, how they felt about the extermination of the witches on Dathomir. If they were completely separate, what's the cultural differences between them? We got neither of those. Okay? So it's not I need this to be explained because I can't understand what's going on. It's the writer shouldn't have to make me write in for them. And it's not just they could go deeper but don't thing all the time. It is, okay, almost all the time it is that, just so we're clear. That is the thing. But it's usually the writers are making a mistake and have to explain something to make it make sense, and they don't. So it just doesn't make any sense, is what usually is the case. And once again here, you can make this scene faster and not burn your clock. And why are they all exposing themselves to their natural predator?
You must know Ezra Bridger.
I'm not saying Ezra Bridger. Oh god. We're burning clock. Let's go. We have a lot to get to.
Ezra Bridger. He's my friend. Yes. You know him. You've seen him.
I'm glad. Okay. I'm gonna little flex here, just real quick. All right, first off, 33, 27, anthro lesson. And it's not that kind of anthro. Don't worry. I've been taking an anthropology course in college, right? Cultural anthropology. We're in the section that I just finished. I have to do more homework tonight. But the section I just finished was the languages section. That was last Wednesday. So in that section, we were discussing like nonverbal communication, how it's not ubiquitous, right? It's not. Not everyone knows the same, like has the same ideas and conveyance and stuff, and it's more distinct between different languages than it is between in different cultures than it is between like people of similar background. So like a lot of Europeans and a lot of Americans, despite not speaking the same language, the hand gestures mean the same thing or similar things, but it requires a lot of connective contact, right? So when we're talking, I feel cheap to use this, right? But Africans who are like in their own lifestyle of like foraging, hunting, that sort of deal. Basically, they're not really interconnected with the global commodity market. Words, blah. Sorry. Point being, people like that aren't interconnected with the global system, and so their hand gestures are not ubiquitous with the global method of communication through hand gestures, because that's just not the way that their culture developed. There's a culture out there where nodding your head means no and shaking your head means yes. This stuff isn't universal. So when there's an alien language and aliens who have never spoken Galactic Basic before, outside of with Ezra Bridger evidently, and maybe the Night Sisters, but that's still up in the air. Outside of those, it's just odd that they would have the same hand signals and the same hand gestures, and without those hand gestures, and without the fact that they say Ezra Bridger, outside of that, like after the fact that they can say Ezra Bridger like with their vocals, if without that she wouldn't know what they're saying, and so it's just annoying. It's not a problem like it's not a problem that's not throughout all of Star Wars. It is just everywhere, but it's annoying whenever it happens, and so I'm gonna point it out here. Just know that it's not a universe. It's not a thing that only this show does. Every show does this. It's the same thing with like the landing pad here in this episode. We didn't have any railings. That's not safe. If a high wind comes through and it's raining, if someone slips and falls, they're gonna die because there's no railings. But like that's all of Star Wars. Star Wars does not care about workplace safety management. So it's just a pet peeve of mine, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to keep this in the video, but we'll see.
Hey. You did good. Come on.
Also, that's kind of silly that the thingy, the platypus horse alligator.
Looks like she survived.
Okay, so they're tracking her from way off. Okay, sick.
Do you know the one she seeks so desperately?
Bridget? No. He's too young. Comes from a breed of Balkan Jedi trained in the wild.
Balkan Jedi. That's interesting. I appreciate that bit of world building. I appreciate they're calling the Balkan Jedi. Okay. Okay.
He was trained as a Jedi.
Alright, thank you. Something for Sabine. For Shin. For something more? Okay. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and back this up actually. So first time I'm doing this in this because I need to rewatch that for a second because I need to make sure I caught that. I'm sorry. Oh great, now I got the blue circle of death from Disney Plus. Awesome. Alright, 34, 23. So I can concede. I can be fine with. I'm fine with the Bach and Jedi thing. I actually appreciate that world building. Thank you for giving them a name. The Jedi who are brought up and trained without the Order's approval and consent after the Order has fallen. That's fair. I like that. That's fine. It's also fair that Shin wouldn't know that, so it's fair that he would say that because they may not run across that. When Shin says, like me, that's more of a problem because at this point in their relationship, Shin and Balin should know where each other stand in relation to what they consider themselves to be as Jedi. He should not have told her that she is a Jedi and her being surprised by this. Or she should already know this because he's already told her that he is not training her as a Jedi. This is purely exposition for the audience. They would already know where they stand in their relationship. So for them to have to tell this to each other is asinine and ridiculous. They already know. This is for us. They're just telling us this. This isn't natural at all. And then for her to be like, do you miss it? Do you miss the Order? Do you miss what the Order? I miss the idea of it. Golly, you haven't had this conversation ever. You've known each other for at least like a couple of years, and I assume it's been a lot more than that.
Clearly see one here. In this wasteland.
I see what once was the great witch kingdom of the Dathmiri. The existence of the Great Mothers confirms this.
Okay, jolly. Alright. I'll eat that. I don't like that, but I'll eat that.
They seem eager to leave this place. Maybe we should too.
Perhaps they flee a power.
A power greater than their own? No.
Something calls to me.
Something calls to you?
Don't you hear it? Something
Stirs here? No.
Don't you see it?
Can't you see it?
Bandits.
There's no need for bloodshed. The enemy of our enemy is our friend. For now.
How? How do you know that? How do you know that? Why is that the case? They're speaking noted language? Oh, so the bandits are speaking the same language as the rock kids. What? They speak the same language apparently. I wouldn't know this. But apparently they do. What the frick? I don't... Nothing in this episode has made any sense. Nothing. Like, okay, no, that's not true. Stormtrooper armor is cool. Outside of that, I can't. Okay. Oh, nice. They have a cute little hut thing. What's their economy like? What the frick is this? This doesn't look natural at all. What are these houses made out of? They look like they're crafted out of metal and machines. What metal and machines? It's not off the Star Destroyer. It's probably not out of the ruins of the Witches of Dathomir. Where are they getting this? Do they have metallurgy? I don't know. They don't look like a society of metallurgists. They look like they're scavengers. But what are they scavenging? I don't know. And they're showing us all of this, but they don't. It doesn't. Through the visuals, it doesn't explain itself. It's not like visually obvious what all this is. They're just wasting my time. This is just all a waste of time. We're still just walking through the village. Do something. Say something. Convey something. Please, I'm begging you. Holy moly. Stop with the same shot over and over again. They're all looking at her. Cool. We know that she's a fish out of water. So stop trying to convey that with the same shots over and over again.
I knew I could count on you.
Oh, and Ezra's here. Awesome. So Ezra's just okay. So Ezra's just been living in this village. If they're mobile, okay. If they're not mobile, then here's a problem. Because the Empire didn't find a village. That's odd.
Sure took you long enough.
Sure took you long enough. Yeah, cool.
You didn't exactly tell any of us where you were going.
That's because I didn't know where I was going.
Oh my goodness.
Typical. Always a plan. Never a good one.
Hey. It worked, didn't it?
It did not work. No.
Didn't it?
No. It didn't. And you know it didn't.
It worked.
Now you're lying to him. Why are you lying to him? It didn't. Thrawn is about to get back to the galaxy and take back over. What are you doing lying to her? To him. Excuse me. This is ridiculous. You've lied to him to his face. And I guarantee you now, very little, if anything, will come from that lie.
I see my friends found you.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Very own band of rebels.
Your very own band of rebels?
How'd that happen? In fact, how did you find me? How did you get here?
What in the world?
Let's not talk about that.
Okay, so yeah, she is just compartmentalizing. Again. Awesome.
Hey, I just want to be happy that I found you.
Okay.
After all this time, can I have that?
Of course.
Okay, great. He speaks in another language. It's cool.
Never stay in one place for very long.
Yeah, okay, so they are nomadic. That makes sense. Alright. How do they move these houses? I don't know.
Thanks for coming.
Okay.
Can't wait to go home.
Can't wait to go home. Awesome. Yeah, now Sabine strung a web of lies for Ezra, so I don't know. And given that he's also like being hunted apparently by the Empire, he should know that his plan hasn't worked because everyone's still alive. Also, I don't know how Ezra survived because he was on the same bridge as Thrawn and he got out. Now there comes a Jedi. They ride the travelers.
Well, that is a welcome news. Could it be the recently deceased Ahsoka?
Impossible.
Impossible.
I thought
Okay.
it was beyond you to underestimate a Jedi.
Alright, 4132. 4132. I thought it was beyond you to underestimate a Jedi. Okay, so what we can confirm is at the very least it was thought that she was dead. Actually, it doesn't really confirm much. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because they left, so I guess, never mind. Scrap wasn't much to say. I was going to say, oh yeah, so clearly she died and rose back to life. I mean, that was obvious to everyone, I think. So, it doesn't really help. I don't really have anything unique to say here, so. Never mind. NVM. It's frustrating, though, to just be like, oh yeah, see, it proves she resurrected from the dead. Now we already knew that. Then resurrections are common deceptions. I should have waited to pause. What the fudge?
Balin assured me of her death.
And yet, he was once a Jedi. So, we must regard him as flawed.
What is this?
No, we shall consider Ahsoka alive until we know otherwise. And we shall prepare accordingly.
All right, 40. 205. Okay. Actually, no. All right, no. Yeah, no. We have a few problems. One, her master. You should already know this. You knew who Balin Skull was on sight. You should know who her master is. Two, what do you mean recently deceased? You should have a lot more questions because, to your knowledge, Ahsoka died/disappeared in the temple on Malachor because she went back there and stayed there through season 4 before you got zapped out of here. You should have more questions about that. That should be your questions. Especially considering apparently you had parts of the Lothal Temple on your Star Destroyer question mark. That should really be your bigger question. At least to me. And then entirely disregarding death and life or just whatever the frick. I don't remember what he said specifically. I'm sorry. But death and resurrection are just nothing. They're just a part of everything now. You know, there was once a time in Star Wars where death was permanent. If you died, you were gone. General Grievous burned his eyes out. Count Dooku got his head cut off. Maul was sliced in half. Anakin died in Luke's arms. Palpatine was thrown down a shaft. Tarkin blew up in a Death Star. And now Maul's back. Vader's living on as a god in time or whatever. Palpatine's back because the dark side. And now Ahsoka's back from the dead. And Sabine's lived through a lightsaber shank. And Grogu's healing everybody. What's the stakes? What's the limit? What's the point? Everyone can live through everything. And now Thrawn is here saying and justifying it as a system. A mechanic. Everything just lives in resurrection, dies, and whatever. They're trying to shove Samsara into this. They're trying to shove everyone is an Atman and just lives repeatedly, and so like death is just another step to rebirth and reliving. Trying to shove that in here, and it doesn't fit because fundamentally this Star Wars has not had that to this point until this show, and to shove it in as a mechanic is ridiculous, shoddy. I don't have enough words to describe how stupid it is, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's stupid.
Yes, Grand Admiral.
The fact he doesn't already know.
Destroyed with prejudice.
If he doesn't already know,
Great mothers, I shall once again
like what her history is, that's kind of weird.
of your dark magic.
The thread of destiny demands it, Grand Admiral.
The thread of destiny demands. Okay. What thread of destiny? What is this mechanic? What does this mean? What kind of dark magic are you using? What the frick is going on? And is that the end of the episode? Maybe. I don't know. It's still black. And yep, credits roll. Okay. So 42, 48. I'm not watching the credits. What do I think of this show? What do I think of this episode? Awful. Nothing has gotten better. It's all awful. Nothing is good. This is ridiculous. There were a few questions and impressions that I got that I paused too early and were quickly resolved. But not all of them. Not all of them. We don't know what the deal is with the migratory patterns of the whales. We don't know what the deal is with half of this stuff. Like, why are they coming here to die? How'd you hop off of the whales and back into the galaxy? What's the mechanics? What's the relationship with the Dathomir and the these guys witches? What's their relationship? How do they connect to one another? What's the state of the Like we don't know what the strength of the Empire is here, of what Thrawn has. So far, we've seen a hangar of stormtroopers. Surely there's more. Surely there's people running the ship itself, but we haven't seen any of them. We don't know what's going on really. We don't know how good these soldiers are at combat, but that's fine. We can wait on that. We don't know why they're betraying Baylan and Shin, outside of just, let's betray Baylan and Shin. We don't know what this power is that Baylan is sensing, because it's just been introduced this episode. Sabine's lied to Ezra, but I'm sure that'll be developed next episode. That's fine, whatever. We don't know what this planet is. Like, what is going on? Like, if the Great Mothers are living somewhere, we don't know where, unless it's just in this tower. And do they have, like, a larger civilization of witches still going on? Or is it just these 3 people? Just on a tower, out in the middle of nowhere. We don't know. And it doesn't look like there's anything else. It looks like there's just these 3 people in a tower. Why is Sabine still alive? What use do you have for her if you're just going to abandon Ezra and her on here anyway? Why? You can just hold her in the tower or shoot her. Or, like, yeah, just hold her in the tower until, I don't know. Like, you can... I don't know why any of this happens. It doesn't make any sense. We don't know who Ezra is as a person outside. We're just, like, you know, copy-pasting Ezra from Rebels into this show. I assume. That's fine. That's whatever. Sabine still doesn't have a whole lot of character to her. Because they already wiped the slate clean. And so now she hates cowards, loves animals, is snarky to bad people, lies to her friends just to get a moment alone with them or whatever. Not great work developing her. Just not great work overall. Because it implies that up to this point she's been lying a lot just to get her own way. And I have been giving the benefit of the doubt to her character at this point. But if this is the case, I am gonna lose it. Because that means that she's genuinely just been lying to everyone left and right just to get a chance to see Ezra. And if it really is that shallow, I'm gonna be sick. Ahsoka didn't show up this episode. Thank goodness, I guess. She barely showed up. She's still in the whale's mouth, I guess. Thrawn, nothing. It's just Thrawn from Rebels, I guess. So no character there. Morgan, what little character she had is just the arrogant person with a working relationship with Thrawn. Still is just a loyal working relationship with Thrawn, but she's not as arrogant now for some reason. But also she was overconfident in relation to Ahsoka, but also underconfident in relation of, like, 2 squads is enough to kill them. She's just inconsistent now. She's just not consistently so arrogant that she's dumb. She's just dumb. Baylan still don't have a solid motivation outside of just acquiring power. Shin, at least we know she doesn't self-identify as a Jedi, but that's it. What is her character? She's just, like, a piggyback riding off of Baylan. There's nothing there either. There's just nothing here. This show is so vapid of anything, worth anything. It's insulting. It is. Because it can be better. I gave a brief examples with the Night Sisters live as I was watching. And you can do that throughout this. All these questions, if you answer these questions and make everything make sense and just develop stuff more, you can make this good. But you didn't because you needed to show a horse. It's just bad. It's all been bad and it's staying bad. And nothing's going to change that. So welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be making a longer video because this is still a 55-page document. This was just my live reaction. I haven't sat down and broken down episode 4 in full. I have barely started on episode 5, and now episode 6 is coming out. So when I'm done, we'll be really cooking. So, I'll see you guys in the next one, I guess. Have a good night, or day, or morning, or whatever it is for you.
And remember to respect one another. And remember to love good writing and hate bad writing. Thank you.